So these are the top 3 things that I've done that have enabled me to get an FTP of over 300. Now for those that don't know me, my name's Dave. I ride in and around Melbourne and I do between 12 and 15,000 kilometers every year. I just love riding my bike at this point. Now number 1 for me was I bought an indoor smart trainer. This just enabled me to have a sense of consistency that I had never had the ability to do before. With family and work commitments, being able to get out on rides on the road is just not always possible. Plus, anybody who knows Melbourne knows it can change from rain to sun to hail, all within a short space of time. But being able to just jump on the trainer and do a workout or a hill climb or even a race whenever I want means that I can consistently hit targets for distance or time and fit it into my life so much easier than I could before. This also enabled me when I got the trainer to do my first FTP test, which is crucial to know where you're at to work out how to progress beyond it. Now the first time I did an FTP test, I came out with the result of 235, which for me, I didn't really understand what that meant, but I was pretty happy with it. Now moving on from the FTP test, I then went into structured training. I tried Trainer Road, I tried Zwift Build Me Up, 6 weeks intensive, and I also tried Training Peaks. Now for me, even though it was satisfying to get green ticks on your calendar that you've done the workout day after day, week after week, after a while, it just became pretty boring for myself. But at the end of these interval sessions and training blocks, I think I did around 12 weeks in the end, I ended up with an FTP of around 285, which is a massive improvement. But at the end of that, I found myself just missing riding my bike outside. All I wanted to do was go and ride with mates and go and explore new routes. But because I knew I had an hour or 2 hour workout plan that day, I knew I couldn't do both. And so as much as I wanted to keep going with the indoor interval training because I could see consistent improvements, I just missed riding the bike outside. So I stopped there. And from that point, I didn't really know where I was at. So what I decided to do is I did another FTP test last week. Now I love the Zwift ramp tests. I find that the steps work really, really well. And also, as somebody who's still not the most experienced cyclist, I can't go out on the road and maintain a 20-minute effort. I just don't know where that level's at for me. So being able to just push through these different steps works really well for me. And I'm also a pretty visual person. So when you're doing the Zwift ramp tests and you can see the arches ahead of yourself, which you know is the finish line for that particular block, that can really be a massive motivator for me, especially when I'm at my limit. So as I've moved through this test, I've gone through each block, but I now know between this 400 and 420, that's about where my limit's at. So right now, I'm really struggling to even continue, but I can see the gate at the end of the zone. So I keep pushing through. I resist the urge to get out of the saddle, even though that's all I want to do. And I managed to just creep through this final arch and I complete the 420 watt block. And that's me. I'm absolutely done at this point, as you can see. But that leaves me now with a current FTP of 317, which I'm pretty happy about. For me, that sits around 4.2 watts per kg. Now, from when I had my previous FTP of 285 to now over 300, the main thing that I've done is I've changed from any of the structured training to purely riding with people who are better than me. And this now is probably one of my biggest tips or pieces of advice that I'd give to anybody. When you ride with other people and they are faster than yourself and you've got no choice but to go deeper in yourself than you think is possible, it's just not something that I can do on my own. Plus, at some point, you're going to end up 50, 100 kilometers from home, absolutely spent, and you still need to get yourself back. Riding on my own, I'd never pace a ride that way, so I'd never go that deep. So for now, I'm going to continue to be doing my group rides, weekend long rides where possible. And I'm going to see what else I can do to just maintain this FTP at the moment. But I'm really interested to know, is there anything else that I should be trying that you can recommend that might see me to continue to improve? Or also, is there anything I should avoid to not lose where I'm at? Let me know.